Nessort is pleased to welcome you as the industry's premier provider of identity and access management (IAM) services. We provide dependable and effective IAM solutions to help businesses protect their digital assets. Nessort has become a reliable business partner for businesses of all sizes and in a wide variety of fields thanks to its staff of highly trained experts and extensive expertise in the field. We at Nessort know how crucial it is to guarantee the safety of your business and its sensitive information. Because of this, we provide a wide variety of IAM options that may be adjusted to suit your requirements. Our products are built to make access management simple, boost security, and boost compliance. Our motto, Access Secured, expresses our determination to supply first-rate IAM solutions that guarantee the privacy and protection of your digital assets. Our staff is committed to providing a trustworthy IAM solution tailored to each client's specific requirements since we feel that every business deserves the best possible service. We can't wait to exhibit our IAM solutions to our partners and sales teams. To better secure your company's digital assets, it is important that you have a firm grasp of the technical jargon and ideas associated to IAM. We appreciate your interest in becoming Nessort your reliable IAM partner.
Authentication. The act of validating the identification of a person or organization that is seeking to get access to a system or resource is what we mean when we talk about authentication. The importance of authentication cannot be overstated because it is necessary for protecting the confidentiality of sensitive information, as well as preventing unauthorized access. Passwords, biometrics, two-factor authentication, and multi-factor authentication are some of the authentication techniques that may be used. Other authentication methods include multi-factor authentication and two-factor authentication. Authentication may be difficult because it needs striking a balance between usability and security, while also ensuring that only authorized users have access. Challenges authentication can be difficult because it requires only authorized users to have access. Some examples of authentication include login onto a computer, using the internet to access online banking, and using an access card to enter a restricted area of a building. In summary, authentication is an essential part of information security, and it needs to be treated with the utmost importance in order to keep sensitive data private and forestall data breaches. Authorization. When a user's identity has been verified, they might be authorized for access to more restricted areas or functions. A fundamental part of any safety system is the authorization process. It makes sure that only the right people can access the right resources, and that everyone else is kept out. Authorization is the process of confirming a user's credentials and granting them appropriate access. A username and password, or other forms of authentication, such as biometric authentication, are used to verify the user's identity. After a user has been verified as legitimate, the system will examine their access permissions to see if they have authorization to see the requested content or carry out the requested operation. The administrator of a system decides who has access to what resources, taking into account factors such as the user's job description, the user's department, and so on. If the user has permission, they are given access to the requested item or perform the desired action. If they don't have permission, they'll get a notice saying so or be moved to a different website. In conclusion, permission is an essential part of security since it limits access to private data and resources to those who are allowed to use them. Access is granted or denied based on the user's identity, which is verified and their permissions are checked. Access control. Using a predetermined set of rules and regulations, access control regulates who has entry to what resources. Because of its importance in modern cybersecurity, knowing the ins and outs of access control is a must. The goal of access control is to restrict access to restricted resources so that only authorized users have access to such resources. Data, information, tangible possessions, and digital assets are all examples of resources. The purpose of access control is to safeguard against the compromise of sensitive information, theft, or even bodily damage by unauthorized individuals. Authentication, authorization, and accounting are all methods used to govern who has access to what. To authenticate someone or something means to check their identification. When someone or anything is authorized, they are given permission to use specific resources. Accounting is the process of recording and analyzing data on how resources are used. Passwords, biometric authentication, security tokens, and smart cards are just some of the methods that may be used to provide access control. Organizations may regulate who gets access to what resources and under what circumstances, thanks to flexible access control rules. In result, knowing how access control functions is an important part of keeping data secure. Organizations may safeguard themselves from data breaches, theft, and other cyber risks by instituting rules and methods to restrict access to sensitive information and systems. Role-based and attribute-based access control. Access control is important for securing organizational resources and data.
Role-based access control, RBAC, and attribute-based access control, ABAC, are two methods of access control. Both RBAC and ABAC determine access based on the user's role or attributes within the organization. RBAC grants access based on the job functions and responsibilities of a user within an organization. ABAC grants access based on specific attributes of a user, such as their job title, location, or security clearance level. ABAC is more flexible than RBAC, as it can take into account a wider range of attributes. However, RBAC is simpler and easier to implement in smaller organizations with fewer roles. Both RBAC and ABAC can help organizations ensure that only authorized users have access to sensitive information and resources. Implementing a combination of both methods can provide a comprehensive and effective access control strategy.
In result, RBAC and ABAC are two methods of access control that can help organizations secure their resources and data. Depending on the organization's size and complexity, either one or a combination of both methods can be used. By implementing an effective access control strategy, organizations can ensure that only authorized users have access to sensitive information and resources. Identity governance. When it comes to managing employees' and customers' digital identities and permissions, identity governance is essential. Governance of an organization's digital identities and access privileges via the use of rules, processes, and technology is known as identity governance. Because it aids businesses in preventing unauthorized access to vital IT resources, it is crucial. An identity governance solution's main features are outlined in this slide. Identity management is the first, covering the basics of establishing, changing, and erasing online personas. Secondly, there is access management, which describes what resources each identity may access. Last but not least, there is governance, risk, and compliance, which checks that everyone's credentials are legitimate and everyone has the access they need to do their jobs. The advantages of identity management are numerous. First, it strengthens safety by limiting access to vital resources to the appropriate persons. Second, it makes it less complicated to control who has access to what online, which lowers the potential for human mistake. Last but not least, it ensures that businesses follow all applicable rules and guidelines. In conclusion, identity governance should play a pivotal role in the IT security framework of every enterprise. It helps guarantee that only the correct people have access to sensitive information and that digital identities are maintained and safeguarded properly. User life cycle. From the time an account is created until it is deleted, this process is known as the user life cycle. Let's get started by making some accounts. When a user is first added to the system, they enter the onboarding phase of the user lifecycle. At this point, the user is assigned a specific login ID and password. Only authorized users should be given access. Hence, the account creation procedure must incorporate suitable authentication and permission measures. The next step is the provisioning of users. Depending on the user's job description, the amount of access and rights granted to them must be adjusted accordingly. The permissions a user has can change based on their position, division, and rank. If you don't properly provide your users, they won't have access to anything they don't need to do their jobs. User upkeep constitutes the third and final phase. This phase entails keeping tabs on and controlling user access. Part of this process is checking in on user accounts at regular intervals to make sure their permissions are up to date and suitable. Inactive or superfluous accounts can be identified and deleted during routine audits, further lowering security threats. User deprovisioning is the fourth and final phase. At this point, a former employee or position holder's access to the system is revoked. When a user's credentials are revoked, they are no longer able to get access to protected areas of the network or see information for which they no longer have permission. In outcome, the user lifecycle is a crucial procedure for overseeing how individuals make use of data and infrastructure. User accounts should be managed in a way that minimizes security risks, while yet granting users access to the tools they need to do their jobs. Single sign-on. By using a single set of login credentials for a wide variety of services, single sign-on SSO saves users time and frustration. Statement of the problem. Users using legacy authentication techniques are often frustrated by the need to re-enter their credentials while switching between applications. By requiring only a single point of authentication, SSO improves both the user experience and the efficiency of using different apps. The advantages of single sign-on include user experience is improved since they are not need to input or remember several sets of credentials. Since SSO eliminates the need for users to input their credentials more than once, it improves security. SSO lowers the overhead associated with maintaining separate authentication mechanisms for various software programs. Single sign-on protocols, SAML, Security Assertion Markup Language, OAuth, Open Authorization Protocol, and OpenID Connect are just a few examples. SSO is a significant tool because it improves user experience and security while decreasing the overhead associated with administering various login methods. Identity federation. To enable users to access resources across various systems and domains with a single set of credentials, a procedure known as identity federation is implemented. To begin, it is important to define the issue that identity federation seeks to address. Users today are expected to log into many systems and domains using a wide variety of credentials. As a result, people often reuse passwords across numerous platforms, which poses security problems. The solution to this issue is identity federation, which allows users to authenticate only once and then use that authentication across other domains and systems. This simplifies and expedites the access process by requiring users to keep track of a single set of credentials. When it comes to user authentication and authorization, the buck stops with a single identity provider in an identity federation setup. The identity provider checks the user's credentials and, if valid, allows them access to the requested resource on another system or domain. Security, user-friendliness, and IT budgets are all boosted by Identity Federation's implementation. It also facilitates teamwork and the pooling of resources among businesses. Identity Federation, which allows users to log in once and utilize their credentials across various systems and domains, is, in conclusion, an important piece of infrastructure. It's becoming increasingly crucial in today's networked world and offers a number of advantages.
Privileged Access Management, or PAM, is the method by which an organization controls who has access to its most sensitive data and systems. Those with privileged accounts can access and modify sensitive information and systems. Using PAM solutions, privileged access may be managed and monitored from a central location. The advantages of PAM include higher levels of safety, legality, and productivity. Password management, session recording, and access request procedures are just a few of the standard features of PAM systems. An integrated approach including people, processes, and technology is necessary for successful PAM. Organizations need PAM to safeguard against both internal and external assaults on privileged accounts. PAM is an essential part of any cutting-edge cybersecurity strategy. User provisioning, the process of establishing, changing, and removing user accounts as well as access permissions in accordance with preset policies and guidelines is referred to as user provisioning. It requires managing user roles and responsibilities in addition to the creation of user accounts with the proper permissions and access levels. User provisioning is absolutely necessary for ensuring that only authorized individuals have access to sensitive data and systems in order to ensure security and compliance. Organizations may decrease the risk of mistakes and improve productivity by automating the user provisioning process. This frees up IT staff to focus on other important activities. User provisioning may also assist organizations expedite their employee onboarding process, allowing new recruits to swiftly acquire access to the systems and tools they require in order to be productive. This is one of the many ways that user provisioning can aid organizations. In a nutshell, user provisioning is an essential component of the information technology security and compliance strategy of any organization. This component enables the organization to manage user accounts and access privileges in a manner that is both effective and efficient. Identity Access Management Integration. Integration of identity and access management, IAM, systems and technologies with other corporate systems and applications is critical to a company's safety and productivity. Integrating IAM and HR systems allows for the automation of the onboarding and offboarding of workers, guaranteeing that they always have the appropriate permissions at the appropriate times. When an organization's IAM and CRM systems are integrated, it may assist guarantee that only authorized personnel have access to sensitive customer information. Integrating IAM may also assist businesses in meeting the requirements of laws like GDPR and HIPAA. In sum, IAM integration has the potential to boost an organization's security, boost productivity, and lessen the likelihood of data breaches. Thank you for joining us today for this demo. We hope you found it informative and helpful in understanding the benefits of our product. As a reminder, if you have any further questions or would like more information about our product, please visit our website at www.nessort.com. Alternatively, you can reach out to us directly at info@nessort.com. We value your interest in our product and look forward to hearing from you soon. Thank you again for your time and attention.